Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers, sisters, viewers and friends of Iqra TV. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk. I'm your host Iqbal Bana. Delighted to be joining you, and I hope you enjoy what we are going to be talking about today. As I say to you every week, I come and invade your privacy. Well, at this time of the evening when most people are busy trying to get everything organized within the household, but sometimes obviously some of the issues that we bring to you are of huge interest and concern to the wider Muslim community as well as the general community and population as well. Over the last few weeks, we've been talking about the absolute devastation and the genocide that has been taking place in Gaza over the last 3 months or so. We've seen no end to it, despite the world clamoring and asking for and demanding a ceasefire, also demanding that aid and other things, medical aid, food aid, etc., should go into Gaza. And we've seen over the last 7, 8, 9 weeks in particular that the restrictions have been applied continuously, although trickling of aid is going in, but yet we haven't seen the amount of support that needs to be provided to the people of Gaza. In this country and around the world, we have seen massive protests against what Israel is doing at the moment in Gaza and the wider West Bank. And we have, over the last few weeks in particular, we have seen that some of this now from our screens has disappeared in the mainstream media. It seems to be as if a non-entity. And every day that happens, more and more atrocities are being committed in Gaza and other parts of Israel and wider Palestine. So we've been talking about what can we do as a community in this country. Now my guest who was supposed to be able to join me today is the leader of Burnley Council, Councillor Afrashi Anwar. He was a member of the Labour Party, and he and his colleagues in the Labour Party resigned when this atrocity started to take place after the 7th of October. Now we have previously said, and I'll say it again, we condemn what happened on the 7th of October. Islam does not allow the murder of any innocent people at all. And what Hamas did, it will be unforgivable. And one day, the day of Qiyamah, they'll be asked questions about what they did, why they did it. Although there's a conspiracy theory that says it was possibly an inside job with the spies from within Israel, Mossad, the organization, being involved in committing that act. We don't know whether that is true or not, and we're not actually really interested. Hamas, whatever they did, it was done in their name, and we condemn what they did. But the subsequent actions of the Israeli government and the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, is totally unforgivable. And what they continue to do is something that is totally unacceptable to any human being, regardless of what your politics are. So I was going to ask Councillor Anwar, had he joined me, inshallah he will in a little while, what led him to take the actions that he did. He was a long-standing member of the Labour Party, he was a leader of the council, and those who understand what the leader of the council means, he actually is almost like a prime minister of that area. He dictates what happens and how people's services are provided. And he and some of his colleagues within the Labour Party, as well as from the Liberals and the Green Party, resigned on principle on the non-action of the Labour Party and this government and set up their own group, an independent group. What that happened was that they became the largest party in Burnley, and as a consequence of that, they are now the ruling group on Burnley Council. May Allah give them strength and gives them the wisdom to do the right thing for the people of Burnley, regardless of whether whoever they voted for, whatever the colour and creed and the politics may be. I've also been joined by Maqsood Ahmed. He doesn't need any introduction. Maqsood is here with me in the studio, as he has been on my program on several occasions, because he's an expert on equality and diversity. He worked as the director of equality and diversity in Kirklees, then went on to become equality and diversity advisor to the Home Secretary, and has worked on a number of different organizations around equality and diversity and social justice. We know he's committed and is passionate about justice for everyone. Maqsood, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome across the Pennines. By the way, he comes from across the Pennines, giving you a valuable time and coming all the way here to talk about this. Now, we have had this discussion in the last few weeks about how the Muslim community should respond. When you hear of people like Councillor Afrashi Anwar and his colleagues doing what they did, which is standing on their principles against the leader of the Labour Party, Keir Starmer, who was appalled by their action, does that make you feel a real sort of gives you a good buzz about the principles and values of people like him and his colleagues?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, wa alaikum assalam, Iqbal Bhai, and thank you. And it's a pleasure always to come to your show, a fantastic show.
Thank
It
you.
gives us hope, in a sense, for people like myself and others and thousands of others in the Northwest and the United Kingdom, with regards to when individual leaders take that type of action, because that's a conscious action. It's a action of compassion. And I think that's what politics is lacking at the moment. It's the good politicians to come forward and speak out. Because if they don't speak out, then Iqbal Bhai, you know the result is now happening.
We have seen lots of councillors, Labour councillors in particular, who just sat silently and done nothing. What do you say to them?
It's very difficult to say anything to them because I think they are trapped in their own political party policies. Because they are a minority within the party, whether it's Conservatives or whether it's Liberal Democrats or whether they are Labour, they seem to be trapped in that political policy decision making. Because
here's Councillor Anwar, who was a leader of the council, Labour Party leader of the council, and he decided on principle to resign because the leader of the Labour Party refused to ask for ceasefire. So he took a conscious decision, as you say, on compassionate grounds. What would you say to other councillors and MPs who
they should do the same?
Should do the same.
Absolutely, they should do the same and stand up as independent. Or because some argument has been put forward to me when I speak to some of them is that if we in the system, we can change the system. My argument with that has been is that how long do you need to be in the system to change it?
I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that. We need to go for a break. I mean, this is a very important point that Maqsood has raised about how long we need to be in the system to change the system. That's something that we need to talk about when we come back. I hope you found it interesting so far. Inshallah, we'll be back with you soon. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.